Hello everyone, welcome back for another book review. Today we are talking about this one, Kindling the Native Spirit, Sacred Practices for Everyday Life by Denise Linn. Now I had got this book years ago, and I think it was like 2015 is when I bought it, but definitely was when I remember trying to go through this book. 2015 was like the year that I was trying to do a lot of change and was really trying to outgrow being like the maiden, the child, and I feel like now, in our glorious year of 22 and 23, I've actually managed that. And so this book, it was kind of weird to reread it and like look at it from a completely different perspective of life. So the premise of this book is basically that you don't necessarily need to be part of a specific tribe because there is a lot of overlap across the world for a quote-unquote native spirit. It's more so how you view life and the world and how you go about your day-to-day existence. And she talks a lot about her experience and then tying it into how you would experience the world as well and giving you different ideas and stuff. Personally, I really loved this book. I think the way she talks about it is so comforting in that it doesn't feel so closed practice and you don't feel weird wanting to do this stuff. And she does admit that she doesn't include things that are a closed practice, which is good. And so a lot of this stuff is really just, like, across the board for multiple tribes, multiple continents. Like, there's a lot of stuff that people just do. And as I was reading through this, she talks a lot about, like, connecting with the elements, connecting with, like, the spirit of water, and, like, not just in, like, kind of a metaphysical, like, oh, water, it's everywhere, but also, like, connecting with the spirits of water in, like, a lake or in a river, and to connect to the, like, land spirits around you. Because pretty much every culture has a name for it. The names just change, but the essence of it is basically the same. This book was really nice. It felt very down to earth, and honestly, it was just really fun to read through. There are definitely some ideas that I got from this book, and so if you're interested in anything kind of related to that, you might want to pick this up. If you ever were interested in anything like, especially those of us who grew up in America where we have a lot of like Native American-ish stuff around, you might want to pick this up because, I mean, it's written from somebody who's from the Cherokee Nation, so it's at least, and she studied with like tribes all over the globe, so the way she presents it, it feels very authentic, but not in like an exploitive way. Really, it feels like her wisdom is just applicable to everybody, and especially those of us who honor and worship Earth and the elements and the natural world. So much of this book is applicable. Now, do you need to go make a medicine bag or make your own dream catcher or even to make a medicine wheel? Probably not. As witches, we kind of do our own thing with that. Instead of a medicine wheel, we cast our circle. In a lot of ways, it's very similar. We have above and below, and in her words, it's, you know, grandfather sky, grandmother earth, and that's kind of the above and below. You have the 4 elements. We usually include 5. But, like, there's so many things, and, like, the reasons to go sit in the medicine wheel are so similar to the reasons witches will sit in circle. And honestly, a lot of these rituals are things that we witches would probably be doing anyways. And the ways she has you connect with the elements and just the world, it's very easy to read and easy to do. I definitely recommend it if you want a little bit more of a grounded approach in a way. It's not all about the tools and the pretty shinies that you can buy. It's not about going and collecting a bunch of different herbs and crystals and tools. It's about like going and finding rocks and making your medicine wheel. It's about leaving offerings of like your hair or spit or to bless a cup of water and give it to nature. Like, it's just a very natural approach and I really loved it. And again, this is just one of those things that it's like the overlap between like the witchcraft community and this type of practice. There's so many similarities. And I think a lot of witches would do well to learn some of this stuff. And again, she presents it as an open practice. There's nothing in here that's really taboo because obviously those things you have to learn from the specific tribes. It's very universal stuff. I was very pleasantly surprised that even occasionally she would mention like Norse stuff because that's not usually common in any kind of book. And it wasn't like it was a lot, but it was just like an occasional like little brief thing of like, oh my god, look at us, look at it, there we go. And not just, you know, the occasional like, oh, well, you know, like the world tree is Yggdrasil and stuff. But also, like, for the elements, I think she briefly mentioned, like, the 4 dwarves that are supposed to hold up the corners of the world. Like, there's just, like, little stuff here and there, and it was just lovely. So anyways, I love this book. There's a few of the exercises I'll be adding into my own Book of Shadows, and I'd like to try out. I would love to hear your thoughts for this book in the comments down below. Huge thank you to my patrons. I will have their names here on the screen if you'd like to support me and get access to exclusive content. It is patreon.com/nightwillowcrafts. Make sure to like and subscribe. I post every single day, and until next time, thank you so much for watching, and blessed be.